everybody. We have a few people that are still joining us, so we'll start in just a minute. Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NAMIC Leadership Seminar graduation. My name is Jeffrey Robinson, and I've had the pleasure of working with this November cohort of NAMIC Leadership Seminar, and I'm here to welcome you. This is a fantastic program that has been organized by NAMIC, and NAMIC has entrusted some of this to myself and to some of my colleagues at BCT Partners. We are thrilled to be here today, and I'm so thrilled that I even put on my graduation robes just to be here for this event. You'll notice if you're looking at the screen, you may notice that there are a number of people with a special background. Those are the graduates, and I can already tell, we've got more than 78 people online. There are about 42 or 43 people who went through the whole week, and they've invited people. So we especially welcome all the folks from the various companies that have supported the NAMIC program and all of the graduates here. Let me take a moment to thank NAMIC and to thank all the companies and the sponsors. We'll formally thank all of them as we go through the program. But let me bring on the Chief of Strategy and Programs of NAMIC, Anne Marie Burton, and she'll give you some words of welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson, and thank you everyone for joining us for this really joyous occasion. What a week it has been. It has been a learning journey of self-discovery, and I think all our graduates can attest to that. Congratulations to our graduates. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for committing 25 hours of learning and networking and growing yourself. We also want to just thank our amazing partners, BCT Partners, Dr. Robinson, the entire team and faculty who make this experience worthwhile and one that's truly transformational. I also want to thank everyone who's joined us here, the HR professionals, the supervisors, the mentors, the champions who've taken the time to celebrate this important milestone. As we go through this program today, you'll get to hear what this journey has meant for some of our graduates. So welcome, and let's get started. Let's go, Dr. Robinson.
Well, all right. Let me fill everybody in on what's going to happen here today. First of all, we have a chance to hear from seven speakers. Now we're going to shorten the amount of time they get to talk, but we have seven what we call T groups. That's talk, engage, and align. T groups, which were organized throughout this week. And each group nominated and put forth one person from their group who would represent them in the graduation ceremony. So in a moment, we'll have some words from each of the representatives of the T groups. After the T group speakers, we will have the formal graduation march. Now, you say, how do you do that on Zoom? Well, we've got a way to do it. So we will proceed with the honoring the graduates of the program. After we have completed that, we're going to do some special awards. Special awards to some of the participants of the program, and we'll have closing remarks from our friends at NAMIC and begin to celebrate. So this is our chance to celebrate the folks who are here. Now you've had a chance to kind of see them on the screen, but now we're going to get a chance to hear from some. We have a number of speakers. I'm going to introduce them quickly and get us on to the next person so that we're keeping close to our time. I'll read their names first so they know the order that they're going to be speaking. And then after I announce that, then we'll go one by one and have each one of them give us some good words about what happened this week. Our first speaker is going to be Maurice Crossland, followed by Anjani Iman. We have Brittany Lassie, Abigail Brazil, Davina Riggins, Amy Conyers, and Darlene Jennings will be closing us out. So those are our speakers in that order. So let me go to the first speaker, who will be giving us some good words. Our first speaker is Maurice Crossland, who is from Comcast.
Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of a November 2021 NAMIC Leadership Seminar team, we want to thank you so much for investing in us. It's been a transformational week. I had the privilege this week of partnering with 4 other individuals from various companies. Mr. Berto Acevedo from A&E, Sajad Ahmed, also from A&E, Kamya Kama from A&E, and Samir Anand, one of my Comcast fellows. We talked about quite a few things that were impactful to us, spanned from Berkman assessments, really understanding ourselves, our needs, where our stressors come from. We also took a deep look inside around inclusive leadership and what that actually means. It doesn't necessarily mean having a representative from every group, as much as it means making sure that every perspective, a variety of perspectives, are appreciated and invited to the table. We talked about courage and what that looks like in so many different arenas. We had engaged conversations around showing up and being our authentic self. We had ups, we had downs, we had chill bumps. There was a roller coaster ride of emotions this week. Transformational, I don't know if that covers it, but it definitely gets close. This was a life-changing event for the team. And if I could just encapture it all, we are all walking away from here this week with an action and a plan to not only be better for our teammates, but also to make sure that we are the change that we want to see. I thank you again, all corporate executives and sponsors. Special thank you for the instructors. I'll cede my time.
Thank you, Maurice. We appreciate you. Our next speaker, Anjani Iman from A&E Networks.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anjani Iman, and I am so honored to represent our team comprised of Grace Hernandez, John Leonard, Lakeisha Rogers, Tiki Garant McRae, and our very own former Special Ops Officer, Sydney Campbell. So it's not too long ago that I was actually at my college graduation, and being on the younger side of the attendees here, I felt a bit of imposter syndrome at the beginning. A step further, I realized that for many of us people of color or people with diverse backgrounds, we may never stop feeling out of place at the top. But Dr. Robinson said 3 simple words that changed my perspective. You belong here. Through lessons of inclusive leadership, executive power, presence, and listening, I am hopeful and inspired that instead of striving for spots at the table, we can reframe our perspective to think we belong here. As we've learned, there is power in diversity, and we are here to lead thought and change in media. This week tested us. We had to ask ourselves hard questions. What inspires you? What are your dreams, and why aren't you doing that right now? In stressful times, how do you act? How do you impact others? How critical are you of others or of yourself? These are questions I know we will ask ourselves for the remainder of our careers, but the real final exam I felt here was of vulnerability and trust in our peers. Every time we shared a bit of our experience, our personal lives, even our Berkman results, our team's connections led us to new goals and self-discovery. Or if you're Sydney, who came back from the dead 28 years ago, it's self-rediscovery. Happy life anniversary, Sydney. I strongly believe that from this seminar, we have reinvented ourselves as leaders. I'm so glad to have met everyone here and learned from our faculty and our peers alike. Thank you to everyone who has invested in us, our mentors, our team members, and congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And next speaker, Brittany Lassie from Disney.
Thanks, Dr. Robinson. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Losey. I work on the platform distribution operations team at Disney. I know we have a lot of guests on the call who nominated or sponsored us. So I want to give a quick show of appreciation for your support in our growth and development and investing in us. I had the pleasure of being in a Talk, Engage, Aligned breakout group with folks from Comcast, Freewheel, and A&E TV Networks. We're walking away from the leadership seminar with new tools and resources that we'll be able to apply both in and outside of the workplace. For starters, albeit virtual, this was the first event in nearly 2 years for me where I was able to stretch my networking muscle. I know it made a lot of us get comfortable with being uncomfortable really quick. A consistent theme throughout our conversations stemmed from transformation and self-awareness. Transformation starts with self-care and a sense of purpose. Between the Berkman test and engaging in exercises around being an inclusive leader, we were provided with profound insight on what each of our purpose actually is. We need to show up and embrace every part of ourselves while being intentionally strategic. Strategic in who we engage with, strategic in order to be a solution-focused leader, and strategic with our networks and mentors to ensure we are mindfully incorporating diverse groups. We leave this week with the techniques to make our teams feel valued, heard, and appreciated. And with that, I'll pass it to Abby.
Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. And we're going to Abby Bazile from Urban One.
Thank you, Brittany, Dr. Jeffries. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to the faculty, participants, colleagues, and family members that are joining us today. It gives me great pleasure to speak on behalf of my TE team, inclusive of Andrew, Alberto, Anish, Jason, Jamin, and Sam. I wanted to first start off by saying congratulations to all the participants that are sitting in this very room. All of the participants have come to NAMIC Leadership Seminar with various roles in the cable, media, and communications industry with varied expectations of this program. As we reflect on this past week, I'm left with one word: transformative. As I look around this virtual room, the phrase represents each one of our journeys. For that, I am truly proud of ourselves. This week allowed me to understand my value within my industry, discover my untapped potential, and align in my vision of true leadership. I am beyond grateful for our professors who challenged my way of thinking, expanded my perspectives, and equipped me with the tools to advance in my career trajectory. Thank you to my fellow participants and especially to my T group. It has been a true pleasure connecting with such powerful leaders. And many thanks to my team at Urban One for seeing me and for investing in my future growth. I'm in love with quotes, and there's so many that can be used to signify this moment. However, I'll leave you with an excerpt from Harvey Mackay. If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said it would be easy. They just promised that it would be worth it. I challenge all of us to continue to take chances, much like this chance to participate in this seminar, and allow these chances to transform our life. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Abby. Next speaker is Davida Riggins.
Good afternoon, team. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our remarkable T team, which is comprised of Kay Washington, Tanya Coombs, Sharvi Radia, Gerald Overa, and Victor Santos. And we're inviting you to a delicious NAMIC Thanksgiving luncheon as we share our journey in a feast format that will provide mouth-watering takeaways as we continue to blaze the trails of leadership. Did everyone find a seat? Great. Let me talk about Kay. Kay enjoys hanging out with her precious grandmother, and fresh out the mud oven, Kay made sweet potatoes, and her focus is building her life portfolio, which will allow Kay to care for those things that matter most, find balance, and soak in more of her sweet purpose. Tanya, she likes the weird foods. She prepared the collard greens on Wednesday. The Berkman assessment offered Tanya a reflection on who she is as a person and as a leader. Self-awareness is key to effective leadership. Sharvi, she loves traveling for food, and she's actually a vegetarian, but that is no surprise to us that she still made a delicious tender turkey. The Berkman method presented Sharvi with a better understanding of her needs and stressors. It's okay to raise your hand as a leader and ask for help. Gerald is my fellow veteran. Do you know he navigated the globe 3 times and still on every continent? He picked up a honey baked ham and wrote down some questions for us all to revisit. How often do we experience bandwidth compression? Do we provide compassionate clarity? Are we demonstrating executive presence? Victor is a techie, and he brought his famous cornbread stuffing. He shared that he had more informal mentors than formal, but he's up for the challenge of casting a wider net. As for me, I love to dance and brought that baked macaroni and cheese. Active listening was a portion that resonated with me most. I need to listen, learn, and then listen some more. As we clear this table, tiny tweaks within can lead to big changes. This experience has been unveiling, exciting, and rewarding. Team 3 is preparing to step into our next assignment, as well as our fellow NAMIC students. We would like to thank our fearless leaders, champions, and NAMIC ambassadors for investing in us. It's time to reset, refuel, and rejuvenate our minds. Congratulations. We hope you enjoyed the luncheon because the rest is nothing but gravy. Thank you. And now I'll turn it over to my faithful, fearless, and fellow Comcaster, Amy Conyers.
That's
Davida, amazing. That was amazing.
Amy Conyers from Comcast. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So you don't motivate people, you figure out what motivates them and you reinforce it. That quote really hit home for me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this NAMIC leadership seminar to hone my professional skills. So I'd like to thank Comcast and my leaders there, as well as Team 4, who nominated me to speak for the group today. For 5 somewhat long days, we all took part of this learning journey, and there were so many things I and the team learned about ourselves and many ahas. For example, we learned we need a reason for just about anything, the why. And it's okay to ask the question why, as it does not mean you're challenging authority. We all need to pay attention to other people's needs and wants and not project ours on them. Additionally, after completing or achieving a goal, pause and celebrate the goal met. I'm personally a big checkboxer, so I tend to just move on to the next thing and should celebrate the wins more. And finally, let people finish articulating their thoughts or stories. While we may relate and get excited to add to the story, you are only derailing their thoughts and possibly causing them to never even get their main point out, even missing out on a great idea. So going forward, I will truly acknowledge everyone possesses some sort of superpower, and we can all learn something from everyone. We also have varying reasons as to why we even show up to work every day and play the game. Some are there just to play, and some want to actually win. And that can ultimately affect the way in which you work with them and vice versa. So ask yourself, which one are you? Thank you again for the opportunity to participate in this leadership seminar, and I look forward to putting all of this new knowledge and perspective into action.
You, Amy. Last but not least, Darlene Jennings from Comcast.
Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. I'd like to send a special thank you to our leaders who recommended us for this program, the companies who allowed us to attend, and just giving us this this fantastic chance to be a part of this. I'm so excited to tell you about our fantastic team members and some important takeaways. Caroline, Nicole, Jisoo, Anand, Francine, and myself. As you notice, we basically represent the United Nations, and that's how we consider ourselves. Now, picture the United Nations, us, with this really cool circle logo around it, because we are the new circle of friends. We have touched on so many things this week and learned about so many transformational tidbits. Some of our major takeaways are like being vulnerable and authentic. And that translated into us being able to be transformational leaders. We celebrated our distinctive perspectives. We learned from each other's experiences. Some of them are really tough to hear about. I mean, some are hurtful, but we were able to hear and be present and understand where people were coming from, and to be there is a special thing. We've had the opportunity to discover and rediscover large dimensions of leadership life, strategizing, mentoring, networking, and just talking about networking. After this, we're going to stay together. We're going to continue to meet and support and motivate one another as we go forward in this thing called life. We've received so many pearls of wisdom using individualized consideration when it comes to motivating our team members, and not only our team members, but other people's whose lives that we touch. So we will make sure that as we leave here, we will carry on the lessons that we've learned here today and this week. Again, one of the key words that we learned was transforming, transformational. So we don't want to be ordinary leaders. We want to be extraordinary leaders. And I think with the information that we have learned this week, we can take away and implement that in our daily work life. We found out that we can be personal without being private. We learned that it's not all about just working and just the work life. And if you break that down, if you took time to actually figure out how much time do you use, do you sleep? How much time do you spend at work? How much time do you think about work? How much time do you spend thinking about work when you wake up? And then you break out this itty bitty tidbit of time that you think about what really matters, your family, your friends, yourself. And I think that's the part that we really need to focus on, making sure that we have somewhat of a balance, and not only for ourselves, but our team members as well. We learned today about micro biases and how it can be received and how it can be pushed back upon. And one of the favorite things that I learned this week, and we learned it a couple of days ago, was compassionate clarity. So when someone says something that just is not okay, you can respond in a manner that is very clear, that's compassionate, but it's understood that this is not okay. We are all one family. We're a work family, we're a human family. And our goal is to make sure that everybody is able to be present when they come to work. Everyone is able to feel valued when they're here, and everyone is able to be heard. And I think with those lessons, we can continue to move on in our leadership life and hopefully do a great job. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for having us here.
Right, thank you. So let's give some love to all the folks who shared with us as the speakers from their T groups and our graduation speakers today. Really well done. Thank you very much. All right, now it's time for our processional, virtual graduation processional. So we're going to bring that up right now. When you see someone you know, use the chat, to use the reactions to give them some congratulations. special thanks to all of our partner companies. You saw quite a few A&E and Comcast folks. We really thank you for what you have done to contribute to this session. Look, that was a fantastic processional. Well done, everyone. We have had a chance to see you and to acknowledge your graduation. So congratulations to all. So one of the things we do every cohort is we take a moment and try to look back over the 5 days we've spent together and try to determine who's been some of our top performers, top participators in the NAMIC seminar. Sometimes that is difficult to do, like it was this time. And it was difficult because there were so many people who really did some amazing work. We did select a few folks who NAMIC has graciously agreed to reward with a gift card. And these folks represent some of the things we really strive to promote through our NAMIC seminar. So allow me to introduce to you some of our awardees for today. First of all, realize that there is a lot of people in this class, and they all showed up and were very active in their participation. But we do have a couple of categories where we want to promote some of the exemplars of participation. Special recognitions. So bear with me as I go through a few names and a couple of categories to show you who our star performers were. Well, we had two folks that we designated as master networkers. Darlene Jennings from Comcast and Carolyn Bilodeau, also up from Disney. Both were really engaged, especially in our network session, giving tips to the entire group and connecting the folks via LinkedIn. So we congratulate you and thank you for being examples of master networkers. And our second category of awards are the top participators. And it's not just frequency we're also thinking about the quality of the participation and the comments and things that were certainly helpful to others. We have a few folks in this category. And once again, we thank you for your active participation. We have Som Bhattacharjee from A&E Networks, Sydney Campbell from Comcast, and Jisoo Rowe, also from A&E Networks. And we thank you, the three of you, for active participation in not just frequency, but also the quality of what you said. We appreciate it. There were, I'm sure, many others who could have qualified for this and some of the other categories. But of course, some of them got the chance to speak today. So we thank you all for participating and for being active in the seminar. So let me see if our fearless leader over at the NAMIC, the person in charge of this program, Anne-Marie Burton, Chief of Strategy and Programs, she'd like to say anything else before we begin to close out today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. And once again, congratulations to all our graduates. I was deeply touched by your remarks. That was fantastic. I could not have put it better. What a way to encapsulate what has been a phenomenal week. I was really moved to tears. I don't know if you guys could see me. I know the lighting is really helping me by giving me that dark background. So I appreciate the lighting today. But it was such a joy to know each of you. I was deeply humbled to read your applications and then to finally see you all and to watch you guys come to life and then to have this moment. It is why I do what I do. And thank you so much for the rewarding experience to hear, to see you, to learn with you, and to grow with you. So go forth. I can't wait to see what the future holds. You should have received your certificates now. Remember us. please network with me on LinkedIn. We have new programs at NAMIC that will be coming up that are geared for your growth as well. So thank you so much for entrusting NAMIC with your professional journey. To our partner companies, thank you for rewarding us time and time again with your top talent. We hope to continue this journey with you and continue to create diverse leaders who are fully aware of themselves, who are actually leading and growing others as well. We're deeply humbled. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving. And for those of you who have other holidays coming up, be blessed and see you in 2022.
All right. Thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you very much to everyone who showed up today and participated. I can see over 80 people who are here. That means at least half of this group is here to support all of our wonderful graduates. This is the time to celebrate. So we thank you for being here. We look forward to hearing about your success and for you to continue on that learning journey. Be blessed, everyone. And congratulations to the November cohort of NAMIC Leadership Seminar.